Good afternoon, Columbus, Georgia. Welcome to the Mark LaJoy podcast program. And I have my co-host here, Sarah Smith. Say a few words, Sarah.
Hello. How is everybody doing? I think I'm muted.
Yeah.
Did you mute me?
No.
Yep, there
Okay,
I am.
there I am. Sorry about all that. And,
There I am.
we got everybody unmuted. Anyway, welcome this afternoon to the Mark LaJoy podcast program. Sarah Smith, my co-host, is here. And we've got a special guest. Some of you probably know who he is, I would think. This is Jason Patterson. Welcome this afternoon to the podcast program, Jason.
Thank you, Mark, Sarah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Columbus.
Glad you're here.
Hey. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Jason. Tell us, you want to slide up a little closer up there.
Yes.
Yeah, you can pull that up closer too if you want. That way you won't overpower the mic. But give us a little brief synopsis of who Jason Patterson is and what you've done. So
I was born and raised here in Columbus. Had some in and outs with a lot of things through my life, and just started trying to do things right and started seeing things that wasn't right from the inside side.
So let me ask you a question. You were friends with Jay Nathan, weren't you?
I'd met Jay. Yes,
Yeah.
I met him.
Did you get any inspiration from Jay? Did he give you a little inspiration?
Yes.
Well, tell us a little bit about the inspiration part of that.
So I talked to him a little bit because I watched him and what he was doing, and I had some incidents happen to me throughout the time with the city, and then I got to watching him and listening, and I actually got to meet him one time, the council meeting right before he passed. We were supposed to meet at the next one, but that didn't happen. So.
Yeah.
But he gave me a lot of insight on things that I just never thought about looking for.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that he was talking about was Columbus government, right?
Right.
A lot of the things that, I'm sure you attended some of the council meetings and stuff when Jay was there, Jay Nathan was there.
Yes.
And you guys talked a lot about council problems or city problems, right? Am I right about that?
Yes.
Okay. You want to tell us a little bit about some of the things that you discovered, when you guys were doing your research with council and stuff and the city issues that were going on?
Just like the missing money, and the way they hushed people, they would just silence the citizens. And when they had things to say, they were pushed aside, brushed aside, and silenced. It was the normal thing of just keeping people quiet, like they didn't want people to know, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, no, that's true. That's, fair warning, I'm a mayoral candidate. So, somebody's going to look at this broadcast and say, oh, well, you're a mayoral candidate. This is what you're going to say. Well, the bottom line is, I think you and I and Jay Nathan thought alike. And that is that we want to be transparent. We want to open transparency as much as possible that's there. And, I said the Georgia Open Meetings Act is pretty simple, right? Everything should be open no matter what, unless it discusses personnel issues. And I'm saying employee issues, pay, Social Security numbers on it. But a lot of the city pay is supposed to be open. We're supposed to know what our city manager's doing and how much our mayor makes and our city council members make and directors and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, there are times that you have to go in council and private council and talk about those things. But everything else should be transparent.
Absolutely.
That the public needs to know where their money is going.
Yes, most definitely. I think that should be the aim and goal for every candidate, every person that is trying to stand up, is like a transparency, accountability. Let's leave there was something that you said in the sheriff's race that I really liked. It's like when you have a plan, it's like a report card. You can hold people accountable based on the goals that they've set. And it's the same thing with our finances, whatever our city is doing, like it should be transparent. Like most people can't read like 80-page agenda
No.
from the city council. And so, like, I feel like representatives should make that easier for the citizens to consume.
Yeah, and we've talked about this finance department issue. This thing still bothers me, and I'm going to tell you now, if maybe the statute of limitations has ran out, at which we know it has, because they just kind of shuffled it under the carpet. Don Kelly got, he said, well, I have to recuse myself because I know these people and a lot of here in his government. I disagree with that. I seriously disagree with that. I think he should have opened that investigation. He's a DA. You could say that for just about every case because, number one, he knows me, right? He knows he knows everybody in the Columbus. You could say that. But the bottom line is we elected him to be a district attorney, right?
Right.
And if he's got assistant district attorneys, which he does, they're in there, they could have investigated this case. But the really thing that ticked me off with the finance department is business licenses, checks that they found there was people pulling out suitcases, checks were being shredded.
Yeah.
I mean, unconscionable, and nobody got in trouble for it.
No
the
one.
same people are in the offices that are there when it happened.
Well, I think someone did get prosecuted or went to jail. I don't know if that was the right
they were
person.
charged.
They were charged, and then the statute ran out, wasn't that correct?
Oh, really? So nothing. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother issue in itself, Jason. What ended up happening was Don Kelly got this Jernigan, DA Jernigan, right? He transferred the investigation to him because, it was a conflict of interest. That's always that's a good thing that everybody uses, conflict of interest. And so it was conflict of interest. So I don't know, DA Jernigan, I guess, was waiting on information from the investigators from the sheriff's office. And then it came up, about 6 months ago, maybe less than that, 4 months ago, that the sheriff said, well, no, it's this, and no, it's that. It was looking like a hot potato. Everybody was throwing the hot potato. And here, Jason, here's the hot potato. No, I don't want it. I didn't do that.
Know.
But this is what was going on. And what happened, they knew exactly what they were doing. Yeah. They were running the statute of limitations out on a misdemeanor charge.
Right.
But there was obstruction was one of the charges, I believe. All these kinds of things that were going on in the office. And nobody was held accountable for nothing. Nothing. Retha Holloway, she's left. She's left out of the Human Resource Division. So now they're looking for a Human Resource Director.
I think they just filled it with this new.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, this new, I can't remember her name.
They nominated her anyway, correct? I think.
I thought I saw something on WTVM that they actually hired her for that position. Okay. So.
But it's so wrong what happened in our Columbus government. It really is the things that went wrong. And and nobody's been held accountable for it. And I don't know.
$45.1 million. How do you lose it? How do you lose it? What happened to it? Like, do we not know?
Yeah.
Like, what is, like, I don't know. Like, I can't even wrap my mind around. Like, that's literally taxpayer money.
Yeah.
That's just poof, gone. Or it's been placed, but what did they say? What did the investigation? It's all accounted for.
Yeah,
but
it was accounted for, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Was it accounted for because you found it? Or was it accounted for because the checks didn't get shredded yet? Or what was it?
Where did it go? Yes.
Where did it go?
Where's it at?
But this is what happens with Columbus. Columbus is told how to think, how to vote, and how to vote, who to vote for. And you got big families still running Columbus.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
yes,
they still run Columbus, and they tell people what they need to vote for. And this is the worst part of the whole thing is nobody can come up with their own opinions about what they need to vote for. Their hair should be on fire when it comes to $45 million missing.
Oh, yeah.
How about the landfill issue many years ago? Well, I think that was $10 million. It was up there. And they just swept that under the carpet. And who was in charge of that? City manager.
Oh,
do I need to say more?
Man.
There's been a lot. What do you know? There's something being built out there now at the landfill. A big, huge building. I don't know if anybody knows. Yes,
I don't know.
So,
Were you out there?
Yes, sir. There's something big being built out
Huh.
there.
Interesting.
Well, they had the recycling plant out there. I don't even know if that's in operation anymore.
I went there too, since you said
Yeah.
that. I just happened when I was there, I went and looked. They had the big building, and I was asking my guy that works for me, with me, I wonder what that is. And it's a pretty big building being built down there. And then so we rode up to the thing,
Yeah.
the recycling, which is a nice facility. Nobody's there. There's a police car that sits out there that looks like that's been there for months. There's grass growing up under it.
Yeah, good security, huh?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So these are questions you ask. If we look at things and start looking, then you start seeing it, and then you start questioning. You should start questioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what happened kind of with me. I just started questioning everything that was going on.
Yeah, you've raised a little controversy on some things, so
Oh, yeah.
we're going to segue into that a
Yes,
little bit.
that's what I was thinking, too.
Since you laid the foundation for it, here we go. So you were out there campaigning against one former city manager, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
and raised a lot of controversies. Tell us a little bit about what was going on with all that.
So I found it. So I've watched as things happened. So the dog pound got swapped over, and I had some chickens. So there was some controversy with my chickens first. They're supposed to be law enforcement. And sorry if you're there to enforce it, Martin. I know you are a lawman, and y'all have an oath that y'all take, but you should know what you're talking about if you come to somebody's house.
Oh yeah, I don't know shit about chickens other than eating them and eating the eggs. I don't know shit about chickens.
But if you are an animal control guy, you should know the laws of
I
animal
agree with
control.
you.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I
Yeah.
tried to show this man, and he came to my house 7 times.
Really?
And I told him, and I had the right amount of chickens, and I tried to explain to him.
Is there a ratio you got to have?
If you're in the city, you can only have 6 chickens.
No shit.
Yes, sir.
6 chickens.
Inside the chicken on any size lot. So I had that.
Even the ones you're going to eat?
Even though, if you knock one off, I guess you get to have another
Just
one.
buy it from the store.
But okay, I'm sorry.
So
Go ahead.
You're good. That's right. So he should know that, and then so he harassed me through that time, and that's still in the departments of all that, of just pushing things for money. I believe that he was trying to, because he never came up with a solution. He just kept telling me I couldn't have the chickens, and I told him you need to go back and check. So when I study things, when things come up like this, and I knew that I was allowed to have them, and so he came and said some things to my wife and upset my wife. So I said some things I might not should have said to him.
Well, it's out of anger. We all do things
Yeah,
we don't.
and
Sometimes we regret. But
Then I got so she dropped. The judge dropped all the charges, and she's related to some people in this
Right.
situation too.
yeah,
Told me I couldn't have an attorney, and supposedly if you can go to jail and you can serve up to 6 months or longer, you can ask for an attorney. I would have paid for the attorney. It wasn't the point. I just already knew, because I watched how she was doing with other people, that it wasn't going to go my way.
right,
Even when I had the documentation and the truth.
right.
And so she told me I couldn't do that. Then when I tried to question him, she told me that he was a sworn-in officer, and I could. So if I had to represent myself, and I have this on audio, if I had to represent myself, I should be able to question.
I would think so.
Yeah.
You become
Yeah.
your own attorney, don't you?
Yeah.
At
Yes,
that
and
point,
she made me, and she said, "Do you want to carry on?" I said, "Well, you're not giving me no choice but to carry on."
But
Right.
who in the world says you can't have a attorney? That's not constitutional.
Exactly. So this gets in. Then that's when I started digging even deeper. What's going on in this city? Why are they violating people? Not only, I mean,
Yeah.
for money. It's like they extorted me, kind of. I mean, the $1,000 wasn't nothing. I mean, it is something, but it's not at the same time. And so I just started digging and talking to Nathan, and I had some people talking to me, telling me about some of the stuff, and I got further into the dogs being hurt, and so then it just went from there.
yeah.
So I started looking into him because he was over it. and then things just started falling in place. You just could see it. If
So-
you look for it, it's there.
So what made you come up with the anybody but Isaiah Hughley? What was the inspiration behind
Yeah,
all
what's
of
the
that?
inspiration behind that theme?
So there is the person out there, and don't know her name. She mentioned that she said something, and I was like, I like that. So I took it, and she said, I contacted her, and I'm not saying, she said I could use it. I mean, she kind of came up with it, and I kind of tuned into it, and then it just kind of went from there. She
well, it sure gained a lot of attention. I'm going to tell you
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
We'll talk about that too. So,
we gained a lot of attention.
so since we just segued into that, which is perfect. So this thing with, anybody but, the former city manager, what was the theme behind it? Is there an idea or a theme behind what you put out there?
Yeah, like what were you feeling?
Yeah,
that
what were
made
you feeling at the
feel
time?
So
So-
passionate.
So I felt like the citizens were just getting screwed every way. Even me being a citizen, coming from where I came from at the time, and just trying to do my best to readjust to everything in life again.
Yeah.
And make what I'm supposed to be doing and doing what I'm supposed to, what society says I'm supposed to do.
Right.
And then getting violated, it just made it worse. I just started digging in like a rabid dog, and I wanted to let the citizens know that we have a voice and that we speak
That's
up.
right.
And
We do
start
have a voice.
We
That's
start
real good.
telling and start talking about it, start looking. Don't just sit there and let them tell you what they want you to hear, because there's more to it than that. So,
And that's a pretty valuable, belief is our politicians owe us. They should owe us a debt of gratitude for them being in the office. But second of all, they forget who the public is, who voted them, who pays them.
Oh, yeah.
Why are they in office? For what reason? And we see a lot of these guys running for mayor, so to speak. I mean, why are you running? Tell us what your initiatives are. And I've said, and I'm not going to make no bones about it. Yeah, we've got a podcast program, but I'm running for mayor. But I specifically said we talk about crime.
right.
I have a solution. It's called a 5-step crime reduction strategy. I've been talking about it since I ran for sheriff 5 times, folks. You like to use that terminology, how unsuccessful I was, okay, which is a bunch of bull, because the bottom line is I'm a soldier. I'm a retired soldier. I spent 41 years and 6 months. And if I want to run for dog catcher 6 times, or I want to run for coroner 6 times, or sheriff, or mayor, that is my constitutional right. So WRBL and TVM, stop using that crap against me, okay? It angers the crap out of me because it's me, Mark LaJoy, okay?
Plus,
That's
it
the
was
reason.
rigged. The whole thing was rigged.
Yeah, the whole system is
Sorry,
rigged.
Sarah, I wasn't trying to. It's funny that you said that, Mark, because I've watched from the outside and watched that these people are getting more recognition than everybody. As y'all know, I do not endorse any one of y'all. So everybody knows this. I paid for everything that I've done out of my pocket.
Yeah.
I do work for some people, then I'm not going to say their names, and I make sure I keep them out
Yeah.
of this because of the conflict. So I pay for everything, and I'm not endorsing one. I've talked to every single one of y'all. Every one of y'all, I talk to y'all, and I like to know what y'all have going on. That's council members and all. And I don't say anything bad about any of y'all. And I really ain't said nothing bad about the ex-city manager. I've just stated facts. I've looked into them. I posted, given the community the facts of what they're.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. At some point, you're going to have to come down alongside one of us. When's that going to be?
Well, we'll find out when all this comes closer down to the end.
Okay.
So I mean,
So I'm going to back you into a corner a little bit, and that
Okay.
is you're going to have to come down with somebody. You can't come across with that all the way to the end of the election. At some point, you're going to have. Is it going to be whoever the runoff candidate is, or whoever takes the majority of it?
We're gonna see who. Like I said, I like a bunch of. Like, as everybody knows, I'm on more of a conservative side.
Yeah.
and that's because of my beliefs.
Well, your beliefs tell us that.
Yes.
I mean, their beliefs tell us that. And look, we have to emphasize the fact they are making this a partisan election. They're doing it.
Yes.
And you have to understand and see, I know what WRBL is doing, okay? I know what y'all are doing. And the bottom line is what they're doing right now, and we'll segue out of this here. I'm going to try to put you on the spot. But we know what they're doing. The bottom line is they're trying to push one candidate up there and another candidate at the top. And so, I've been a good and loyal person for the Conservative Party. Always been conservative. I was a Democrat at one time. My whole family were Democrats, except for my sister now. And my sister's, she lives down in Florida. But the Democratic Party left me. I didn't leave it. It didn't leave. And as their values changed, my values changed. I realized just how conservative I really am once I started looking my inner self.
Yeah.
And I realized how conservative I am. I'm not a guy that likes to spend money. I said that last night at the debate that we went to.
Me neither.
I'm not a money spender. And so what's really important to me is I look for money savings and cost saving ideas. Hell, I do my own renovations. I do my own plumbing work. I do my welding. I was a welder at one time in a shipyard. I spent I spent about 6 years or so that I was there. And I've been working hard all my life. And so the bottom line is we've got to come up, with solutions and ideas that better our environment and better our Columbus. And that's what I'm trying to pin people into is don't listen to funny jokes and all those other kind of things. That gets us nowhere, folks. Tell us what you're going to do about crime. Tell us what you're going to do about fiscal responsibility. And Jason, you mentioned it about the finance department. I said what I'm going to do is reopen a fraud investigation on every agency, a forensic investigation on every agency again. I'm going to do it. Even though we had, and we'll talk about this report, by the way. Yeah. We'll talk about this report. But the bottom line is, I'm going to open investigations. I'm going to do it because as a mayor, I don't want to take over. Basically, you're a director of the city, if you think about it. I'm not going to take over that responsibility and then all of a sudden some dirty thing crops up somewhere down the line. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. But I want to give a little plug out to, we're not advertising yet, but Benning Stitch Brigade, those folks. They're they've made these nice and wonderful shirts that I wear and Sarah wears. I got to get you a couple more of those. But Benning Stitch has been really good to me. They've done a lot of embroidery work for me and things like that. And I've stopped over there today to have some more shirts made. And if you want to call Sandy Carpenter, they're at 4993B Victory Drive, Benning Stitch Brigade, which is right over there at the beginning of Victory Drive. That's up. You'll see it up there on the side. And Commandos is right next door, which I've done a lot of shopping with in the past. But these are good folks up there, and they do a fantastic job. They can do anything you need to do. So we were talking about the dog catcher issue and everything that happened there. We were about to segue into the campaigning part that you were involved with, Jason, and that was over there by the school district. So talk to us a little bit about what happened with you and the school district police.
So, as you know, I was on a few corners before that.
But, that's right, you were. I'm sorry.
I was on a few corners before that, but no conflict there. It was normal. I've had a few people cuss at me, and a normal deal. So I found out that he would be a guest speaker at a Democratic thing held at the library, which is public property, which everybody needs to understand, public and private.
Right.
The taxpayers pay for public things, and we have rights to it as citizens. It's the citizen stuff you can't deny. So I had people coming and talking to me. So I came from a military background, So I went and investigated this area to see if something happened that we had to leave in an emergency where we could escape to, even if I had to leave the vehicle. I knew the laws, how far to be away from the crosswalks, how far across when it was a double yellow line.
Right.
The no parking signs. So I knew where I was going to park. I already knew where I could be right there where everybody was, so everybody could see. Because I just want to make
Were you blocking any traffic
no
or anything
traffic.
like that?
I
Okay.
even have it on video. Cars pass by me,
Right.
and it's 40 foot across where I was sitting. You only have to have 10-foot crossing if you know anything about traffic. I don't know how much traffic.
Oh yeah,
is
trust me,
here.
I know everything around the school district area and the library because when we done sign waving out there, my competition, the sheriff called. They called people in on me over there, and
Right.
Teddy Reese could park right there at the beginning of the road. Nobody said nothing to him. But as soon as I did something out there, it was like, oh, LaJoy did something terrible. He parked over. He put signs out there. I'm a chicken shit stuff. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
So I parked my truck, put my sign up, and I talked to people. I was talking to people nice. I mean, it was very civil, except I guess some people didn't like what I was trying to say. And
Yeah, Isaiah Hughley. Hicklers, is that what it is?
But the Isaiah Hughley thing.
yes, anybody with Isaiah Hughley. So next thing I know, they tried to demand that I left, and I already told them that I knew the law, that I wasn't moving.
Right.
So they called the police. The first two came out.
So that was the library people or the school district?
Well, I'm not sure who called the.
But they were security or something?
No, they were actually.
Were they actual
Muskogee
officers?
County
Okay.
police
Oh, okay.
from the police department.
Okay.
And it's funny that they didn't have no record
Was it-
of them coming out.
Well, was it Columbus Police or was it
No.
the school
the
system
second
police?
time I went back, second time the
Okay.
Columbus police came, and they did real good. They knew that they were real good and protected our rights of freedom of speech.
Right.
The school police came and told me that I had to move, that they didn't want me displaying there. As you seen on the videos, they said it was private property. Y'all, it's not. It's public. It's big
Yeah.
letters up there. It's a public library that the taxpayers pay for.
Dearly paid for, by the way.
Yes, and I'm not sure if everybody knows this, but the connections in there. The sister works there in the on the school
School
board
board.
and some other ones. Like I said, I almost said names. Sorry. So I don't know if there was calls made.
Oh, there was probably a lot of calls
Any
made.
there, but they tried to. First, they threatened to arrest me. Then they told me they were going to tow my truck. They said the chief said that they could tow my truck, so I'd already known. So I was waiting on them. Either one of them would have been okay with me. But I told them to tow the truck then if they could. But it never got towed. And then they said they came up to me and was like, "We're going to let you stay here."
Wow.
You gonna let me stay on
Power move right there.
public power move? Yeah,
We're
exactly.
going to let you stay here like they were going to.
You're
I already
granting
know.
you something, huh?
Yes, granting me something.
Okay.
And so then, 15 years that section was not ever painted, and then 12 days. I've seen projects take longer than that. They made
yeah.
sure that thing was painted and signs. So you spent $2,000. I got to think $2,000 just to paint that curb, and
Wow.
then extra money on the signs. I have all the documentation. There was some emails passed in between the library staff and
And you did an open records request for this, right? The emails and things that you
for
talked
the
about?
emails and stuff. Yes.
Yeah, we just want to point out his requests were all done legally, by the way. He did open records requests, which is all across the nation. If you apply for a record and it's there. Now, I'll tell you right now, a lot of agencies and a lot of different things will stall you because we put in for a lot of open records requests on this last election that I went through as the sheriff's election, and they stalled on different things that they did. So, eventually we got, I guess, most of the stuff that we had requested. I know one of our other researchers, I don't know if she ever got all the records or not.
Yeah, you gotta be on them all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I had to do an open records, and it took over a month to get it. and I had to keep
How
responding.
many days do they have?
3.
3 days to respond, right?
Yeah.
3 days
They
to
do
respond.
They respond,
they'll-
but they don't
No, they
fulfill
don't.
the order.
Yeah, they what they'll do is say, I received your email. So that's 3
Yeah.
days response.
Yeah.
Technically, that's a response.
Okay, well, I didn't even get some of that.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't?
And,
Okay.
there was some very late calls. So
Yeah.
as you know, I went to the school board and spoke at the school board too, and told them how
Okay.
I felt about it. That they were trying to silence the people. And then when I pulled the emails that talked about my sign was controversial.
Who
And
cares?
yes, that's my freedom. If I
right.
don't like one thing, I mean, it's not everybody's going to agree with me, and that's okay. I mean, that's what this country's about. That's what you fought for. That's what my father fought for.
Yeah, that's right. I did. Yeah, and I still get chastised for for my freedom to speak. But yeah, it is. So what kind of response did you get from when you went before the school board to speak for them? Were they attentive with you, or were they just kind of blowing you off?
So I got the email after this, but it talked about, just for y'all's information, Mr. Patterson wants to speak at the board.
Uh-oh.
So they done gave warning that I was coming.
Oh, you were coming, huh?
Oh yes, they gave warning that I was coming, and they all, even the library director came. So I had some emails between him too. So he came, and I guess he was sitting there. But I told him at first I just wanted them to acknowledge that they were wrong for doing what they did, and they can't even take accountability of that. So this is the whole deal about the accountability part. Is I took accountability for all my actions.
Right.
Actions that I know were wrong, and I can't deny that. And I took responsibility and took accountability of that, and that's what changed me to the person I am today.
Yeah.
And that's what they need to be held. If we're being held to a standard, they need to be too.
Yes.
I agree.
Is our thing.
I agree.
Which-
I can tell. Go ahead. I'm sorry, sir.
No, you're good. Like I was just saying, we're just considered peasants now. Like, we have the ruling oligarchs that can
Yeah.
do whatever they want to. They
Yeah.
answer to their 5 families.
Yeah.
That's running Columbus.
Yeah.
And then forget about us. We'll tax
Yeah.
you, take all your money, and then you just shut up, sit over there, and
Yeah.
you think the way we want you to think. So,
That's probably been going on for 120 years in this county. I swear to God, it's been going on forever and ever. It's unbelievable that a few families can call the shots on everything that happens in this county. It really is.
money talks,
And
apparently.
yeah, and then there's families that haven't been here so long that they call the shots. Some of them used to own restaurant chains, and some of them own what do you want to call it? Hospitality chains, and whether others. I mean, if you want to know who's been donating to these campaigns, go look at some of these campaign disclosures that are on, and that's going to tell you a whole bunch of things you need to know on who's bought off who. I mean, seriously.
And it's very easy too.
It is. But the CCDRs are up there for the public to look at.
That's right.
And what's interesting is some city manager was up there. There's a lot of them from Louisiana. Half of those donations, I kind of question that.
Yeah, it's like, why are other counties and cities, donating to Columbus? What is at stake to where they have to call in the?
There's a lot at stake.
I just don't understand. Like, we understand that Columbus is a wealthy city, even though it's small.
Yeah.
It comes from a lot of old money.
Yeah, it's
But,
wealthy for some families. It's not wealthy for everybody. And affordable
unfortunately.
housing is always an issue that comes up in a mayoral campaign. And the other thing with affordable housing is nobody ever makes it affordable anymore.
No.
Definitely not.
There are people that are living in poverty. There are people that are living in queens and kings, past a certain road up there, go up there, multi-million-dollar homes. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer.
Yeah.
And then there's us, the middle class. I don't know what we're getting.
Eating all the pie.
Yeah, we're eating all the pie. Exactly. We're
I'm not getting any pie.
Yeah, we're not getting any pie.
It's crow pie. So
Yeah, it's crow pie.
It's crow pie.
So since all that happened, now what type of control factors are there where you were parked at with your sign? So what's happened?
So they painted the curb. They
Painted the
placed
curb.
signs.
No parking signs,
No
I'm
parking
assuming.
signs.
At any time or something like that?
Yeah, at 15 years it wasn't painted
Of
until
course
I did
not.
that. So,
Of course not.
And like I said, there's members on both sides of this, and they try to silence things. When you speak, they try to silence you, and it's known in the thing that they will run you out of the city. So that's why I try to keep everybody out that I work for. I try to keep them out of all this.
Yeah.
I've stopped a lot of work.
Yeah.
I've stopped doing a lot of work for people to make sure that they're not connected, because it's proven that they will stop businesses with you. They will.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like bullying.
Yes,
Yeah.
they kind of, yeah. And
Well, there's a certain congressman that's in this area, and I'll tell you this was a few sheriff's campaigns back, and this was a cleaner's place, and I won't mention their name, but I talked to the person over there, and they allowed me to put my sign up there. This was on Victory Drive, by the way, and right in the heart of South Columbus, and I put my campaign sign up there, and came back a couple days later, it was gone. So I went inside and I said, "Hey, where's my sign at?" "Oh, well, to be honest with you, I really don't know, but talk to the boss." So I went over and talked to the boss at the cleaners, and this is what he told me. He said that a certain person came into their agency and said that if you want to do business in South Columbus, you want to take that sign down.
Oh, threats. Like government gangsters.
It's
That's
the-
epitome of a government gangster.
That's the honest for God truth of what happened.
Yeah, they attack you. They attack your family.
Yeah.
They bully their way into trying to make
know.
you look like a crazy person when all you're doing is just speaking the truth and the facts,
Yeah.
And you know what, like you said before, it's like a day of reckoning is coming for these
It is.
people. Like if they think that their arrogance is not seen by God, the God of heaven and earth, they have another thing coming. And he's going to humble them real quick.
Yes.
If you've been living in this community any time, and I've been here since 1988, and Jason, how long you said you've been here?
I've been here since I was born, 54 years.
Okay, so it's 54 years ago. You got a little bit more time than I've got here, but I came here before that for training. But I will tell you this, that the way things are in this county, if you want to know something about that still residual that happens here, about who runs Columbus and who was part of it, go look at this movie called The Phoenix City Story. Go look at it. As a matter of fact, there's something in here. There's a little thing right here that talks about the Phoenix City Story.
Yeah, what was it called before?
It's funny you said
I don't know.
that.
I got it right here.
It's like, what was it called before it was changed to Phoenix City?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, the Phoenix City Story will tell you a lot about the crime and the crap that was going on in this city. I mean, there were casinos over the Chattahoochee River. There's a lot of GIs that got dumped in that river.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's a lot of history on there. And you know
I
what?
recommend watching that movie.
Watch that movie and get a good idea of the corruption that's not only across the river, but it was over here too. It transcended. The state line means nothing. There's crime that transcends the state line, just like gang crime here. We talked about gang crime till I'm blue in the face.
Right.
I mean, but the bottom line is that crime transcended here. It was a different time, a different era back then. In Fort Benning, soldiers would come down here and try to spend their time. Hell, the old Columbus Police Department had a city jail there, had a lockup in there. The old police department did. I remember because we converted about half of the upstairs area was converted in where the jail was into a gym. I mean, it was there. They had doors and stuff up there. They used to have some of our police officers that were dispatched or military police officers that would come down here, just like they do in a foreign country like Korea or one of those places. They were courtesy police, and they would come here and throw people in jail, throw GIs in jail and stuff, for public drunkenness, fighting, whatever that kind of stuff is. But yeah, there was a lot of crap going on in here. A lot of people don't want to bring that up anymore. They want to try to bury it. Oh, it's still going on. It's going on in here.
You see it. You can see who's in their fraternities. So we're not going to say names. family members.
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
Nepotism.
Oh, the nepotism is
Yes.
awful in this place. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's
Ugh.
awful. I mean, we can talk about it till we're blue in the face. And I mean, every agency has got some kind of nepotism in it.
Just for a little
Yeah.
story on that, Mark.
Yeah.
It's funny that you brought that up because I had somebody come to me. I take my people to lunch. So I had a
Well, I need to tag along with you, man.
I know. I know.
We need to get
Where
some
you
lunch
working?
going here.
I had a lady come up to me, and I've known her since we were very young. She said that their boss came to her and said, "Why are you friends with him on Facebook?"
Yeah.
So, and he said a few other things. She ended up leaving. I don't know necessarily for that, but it just shows that if they're approaching her, why are they looking at her Facebook? Why do they care if they're friends with me?
Right.
Did they give her an ultimatum?
No, I don't know anything about Sam. I'm trying to get some more information on that. But even just to say something, just to say anything, why are you friends with him
On Facebook.
on Facebook shouldn't matter about your job. If you're qualified for your job, you're qualified. It don't matter. I talk to a lot of people, even on the Democratic side. I've been accused of saying things and then hugging some of them because I like some of these people. They're as a people, as some of the people, they're good people. I'm not saying they're bad people. We have different beliefs. Majority.
But the unique part of that is you're able to discuss those things, and you can look. I don't care what political party you come from. I don't care if you're gay, you're straight. I could care less. This is how you live your life. You live it, right? Who am I to judge anybody by those parameters? I'm not going to do that. And I don't want anybody to judge me by the things that I say, okay? Number one, I'm a firm believer in honesty. I'm a firm believer in transparency. A lot of people would tell you, no, he's just an ogre. He's an asshole. I'd never vote for you. And that's the kind of things that I'm hearing on the internet. I was like, and then they're anonymous, right? They go to anonymous
The
222.
Oh, my God.
And here's the new thing they're doing now. So the new thing is they're not anonymous anymore. They're sounding like they're my friends. And we're like, well, Mr. LaJoy, I've watched you and I've done, and the more I've learned about you, I would never vote for you or my family. It's all propaganda.
Yes.
It's all propaganda. Look, guys, I was an Army intelligence agent. I know what you guys are up to, and I know exactly what you're doing. Okay? I don't play those silly games. I can play those games too. If you want to play them, I can play them. Trust me. Because I know thousands of people that could play this game if you want to play it. And I'm not playing that game. I'm coming directly and honest to the people in Columbus. I'm telling you the way it is. And I don't pull no punches on it. I don't pull any punches. It just angers me that we can't have meaningful dialogue back and forth. We can't do those things anymore, that it's got to be one-sided. And as soon as you find something that is a weakness, they can find all kinds of weaknesses about me. But as soon as I find out something and I start talking about it, right away they're attacking me. And this is not what freedom of speech is anymore.
No, that's the funny part. So I was told by the chair of the Democratic Party that if I could not support one of them persons that I'm actually acquainted with, and I call him a friend. He's a friend of mine that's running in the campaign, not for mayor, but I was told that if I can't support Isaiah Hughley, I can't support him.
Really?
I was told that by the chair.
Really?
I have.
Wait a minute.
Who are these people?
Wait. Isn't this supposed to be a nonpartisan race?
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
So it's not partisan anymore. Wow.
And I really like this guy. I mean, he's a good guy and as a person. And like I said, I have not endorsed anybody. I talked to everybody. I even shook the ex-manager's, city manager's hand at an event. I mean, I shook his hand and he said his name, and then when I told him mine, he kind of changed his whole.
Did he try to squeeze your palm off?
No, well, he held my hand until he said,
He wouldn't let go of you.
As soon as I said who I was, he dropped my hand.
It's weird. It's
I
so
was
weird.
actually told that if I could not support,
Wow.
and I'm sorry, I did say anyhow, if I could not support him, then I couldn't support another person in their party. Was actually told that by the chair of the Democratic
Wow.
Party. One, if I couldn't support one, I couldn't support the other one.
Wow. So I think it was because I've ran 5 times, I can't remember some of these things, but it's kind of a funny thing. But somebody's going to come out here and they're going to see this. They're going, see, he ran 5 times unsuccessfully. Oh, he's never going to win. He's never going to. I've heard all this crap. Okay. I'm a little sick and tired of it. But you know what? So I think it was a 2016 election. And I was invited. The Democratic Party had the building was called Movie Gallery. It was right there across the street from one of the Spanish restaurants on Macon Road. When you come over the top by that men's clothing place, it's kind of up from there.
Right.
But there's this little shopping center there, and it was Movie Gallery at one time. Well, they rented that place out, just like a lot of parties do. The Republican Party does the same thing. They'll get a place for usually a general election, but they'll rent those places out, and that's kind of like a headquarters for them. Everybody can meet, you know. So there was a guy, a police officer that was with me. He was a detective, and he was helping me out. Mr. Spicer, very good friend of mine, good detective, excellent guy. And he lived out in East Columbus, and he planted a lot of my signs out there in East Columbus. And he said, hey, Mark, he called me one day and he said, hey, look, I was invited to his church. Used to be over there by the, what is it? What's the snack place over there? Went out of business, Columbus. His church is over there, and he was invited me to do a debate over there, candidate debate, and invited everybody. You know, John Darr was there, and I was there, and all those other things. So we got invited to his church, and then later, a week or so later, he actually made arrangements with the chairman of the Democratic Party, Muscogee County, older guy, military guy, that kind of thing. And so I went out there and I met Spicer, and we went out there and walked in the door, and he was very cordial. He shook my hand. He said, welcome, Mr. LaJoy, have a seat. He said, I'll just kind of tell you, they had the TVs going over, everything that was going on in there. And he said, I think it was Donna Tompkins that was there, asked to come and speak. And he said, well, Donna's going to speak and everything, and you can say a few words after that. I was like, okay, fine. And so Donna Tompkins shows up, and she's there, and she's talking to those police, people that are in there. And I didn't actually get to stay because I got chased out of there. But the bottom line is I didn't, a certain city manager's wife walked in, who is a state representative for the state of Georgia. Mm-hmm. And she talked to the guy, the chairman there, and she kind of like motioned to him. And another state representative, Debbie Buckner, was with her. And they pulled him into the back room, and she snarled at me like she smelled a bad fart or something, And he went in there, and he come out, and you could see his face change. It changed completely. And he come over to me, and he goes, Mr. LaJoy, he says, you're not welcomed here now. And I go, really? That's interesting. I wonder why. And so I walked out. But that's the this is the honest truth of what happened, And I don't care what political party you're from. Folks, this is a nonpartisan race.
Yeah.
But you're making it a partisan race. You're doing that by singling out the candidates. And WRBL, Chuck Williams, never trust this guy again. I won't go into his history, but the bottom line
we've
is...
seen that too.
Yeah. The bottom line is the way they put that at the top of the news, one candidate against the other, and they're pushing them up, and they want that competition between them two. They don't want me up there because I have the name recognition, and they don't want to pit me against him because they know it's a losing proposition. It's a losing factor.
Yeah.
Yet they're going to prop this other candidate up there, and they're going to do all that. And the reason they did that is because if you look, WRBL posted this thing on there, and they go, well, one candidate's got 67,000. The other one's got 87,000.
Oh, my gosh.
You see what they were doing? That's all propaganda, how they push somebody to the top. And then they got all their little minions running around attacking you on the internet.
The Heckler Association.
The heckler, yeah. Y'all need to form a heckler association.
I know.
The Muskogee County Heckler Association. That's what it ought to be. And it's sad. It's sad that you can't let people think for themselves.
Yeah.
It's sad that you can't let people vote based on the qualifications, based on what does a candidate want to do? What is his proposals that he wants to take on? It's sad. It really is. I don't know what you think about that, Jason, but
well, I have something to say about that.
oh, here we go. I knew you did.
So I did another protest at his outcoming, I believe it was at the Cloud 9 or something like that.
Yeah, I think I've seen it on TV. Is that when Teresa Tomlinson came up there? Was that for that one?
I guess.
Was that the Trade Center?
No, it was at is it called? It's an event center, Cloud 9. I know if I'm giving recognition, that's fine.
Okay.
It's an event facility that you can hold events there.
Yeah.
So I did a display there too. I've had my sign out, and of course, I always have my vet guy with me because me and him are real.
Did you dress in a suit that time? One time you dressed in a suit.
That was on the corner because people talked about how I dress sometimes, but that don't make the person. I'm the person.
That's right.
But that impressed me because I was like, this guy's out there and he's campaigning and he's in a suit. I was like, I'm impressed.
So I just did it because I'm not usually in a suit. I'm more comfortable being me. Me
too.
I'm not in the political party, so I don't have to dress like y'all. I understand presentation is a thing.
Yeah, but I'm not that kind of guy either.
Right.
If you notice, I've dressed casual.
Yes, sir.
I wear without a tie. The only time I went is when I think it's something kind of official that I do. Because I don't want people to think that I'm the guy that's going to sit behind the desk and do nothing. I'm the guy that's going to be out in the street. Because just remember, I got a law enforcement background too. And so, when our cops are out there, I'm going to be out there with them.
Right.
So
I even help people move park. I move signs for people, his signs, and put them back so they could park for their event. That's just me because I'm not telling them who they can or can't. But I will tell you this: I went and looked at most of the tags coming in there, and it's funny because you can make people think that you're that popular by showing that all these people are coming, but more than half of those people were from out of state or out of county.
Interesting.
That's very interesting.
So kind of just like if you didn't see, I posted the fun thing of and actually I said close to 50%, 37, 38% is close to 50. So I didn't lie.
This is so
and
weird.
Everything I post is fact-based, and I don't think they like that very much.
Because they can't refute those details. That's what it is.
And I absolutely love the receipts. Like, show me the receipts because that's credibility right there. So, yeah.
So since we segued into the sign thing, let's talk about what happened at your yard, in front of your yard.
Yeah, that's funny.
The sign
that
ordinance.
was you?
That was him.
That was it. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
he did a video and I posted it on my thing.
It went viral.
It did go viral.
We were sitting out, and my cameras alert me when people were close to my house. So I just happened to look, and there's this lady coming picking up these signs in my yard.
Wow.
And as you know, I went outside and said, "What the heck are you doing with my signs?" I didn't say it quite that politely.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Oh," and then she tried to say about the easement. And that's where I went into the thing about, look, y'all don't cut this yard. Y'all ain't cut it, that easement. It's an easement for y'all to put a sidewalk on or whatever. These signs aren't blocking no drainage or anything.
They're not blocking traffic because you live in a round corner kind of lot over there.
Yes, sir.
Because I put my sign up out there. But
yes,
anyway.
sir. I have a lot of signs in my yard.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's the only one.
Yes, every single candidate's in my yard.
Yeah. Except...
Brian Hickey and him.
Yeah.
Except I do have signs for him there.
Yeah, you do.
I do have signs there for
Your
him.
famous sign, but go ahead.
I do have signs there for him. And so I said something to him, and then I went in front of council about that and explained to him that this is, you try to claim this property, it's still my property.
Oh yeah. By the way, since you claimed it, you owe me like $106,000
Pay me
or
the
something
money.
Yes.
for cutting it every year
Exactly.
and trimming it. You owe me this
their
money.
price. Right. And so I went there and told them either you pay that or you just leave my yard alone.
You leave it alone. That's right.
Yes, sir. So, and I've seen signs everywhere, way closer than mine were.
Oh yeah.
Matter of fact, this person, whoever she was, rode right past a sign that was, I'm talking about, I think I took a tape measure and I got a picture of it. I think it was 6 inches from the curb.
Yeah. There's a couple of them across from the Citizen Service Center on a corner.
Yeah, they let the other side do whatever
Yeah,
they want to.
if I remember, there was a city ordinance that was passed, and a fine, if I'm not mistaken, was it
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Was it $1,000
I thought it was
fine?
500.
No, I think it was $1,000 fine. I'm not sure.
I'm not
but
sure
it was
the
a
fine
pretty
either,
expensive fine, and the person who advocated for that has got his signs 6 inches away from the sidewalk. Come on, man.
Critical.
Come on.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Hey, there's a sign right over here by the high school, and I won't mention a certain city council members, but it's like a 4x6. That's 2 feet from the edge of the curb. 2 feet from the edge of the curb.
Who they
And
want.
what's been done about that? I don't see that being collected and everything.
Right. I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with them putting out if they're not blocking traffic and anything.
Well, no,
whoever they
that's
are,
the
but
thing is as long as it doesn't, if it's at a stop sign and you can't see, or it's a yield sign or something, that's totally different. We get that. We understand that. But many years ago, when I ran for sheriff, one of the 5 times I ran, by the way, I'm going to beat you to it. The bottom line is when I ran, they were just come picking up my signs. And my wife we called her the sign Nazi.
Yeah, they would take mine too. When
Oh
I
yeah,
ran
they
for
took
school
them
board.
down, and my wife was over by the Publix over there, and the sign Nazi was out there pulling up our signs, and my wife went on the attack. She goes, "Dump them signs," and then I found out where they were going with them. I went dumpster diving over there by the across from the police department. That's where the city thing is. The code enforcement's office is upstairs on the 2nd floor, by the way.
Right.
If you go there, they got a trash dumpster alongside. That's where they pick up the signs. So I do that. My feet be hanging at the trash dumpster, but because they're expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. And like I said, they are expensive.
I mean, everybody thinks that these things are like $1.50. Let me tell you something. These signs are like $6 a piece, and then the wires are like $2.90, almost $3 a wire. And so you folks get out there and you start collecting them. And here's the other thing that really irritates me about that is their supporters. I found my signs kicked, stomped on, run over, everything in the last sheriff's election. And they come over and run them. They come over my son's in-laws, and I won't mention where they're at. They're across from Beaver Run, okay? And I put up 2 signs, and somebody come snatched them up right out of their yard. So the next sign that I'm putting up is going to have a wireless security camera.
Shocks. Just get
Yeah.
some little
Yeah.
electric
Yeah.
wire fence. Yeah.
And then I'm going to have a tracking device on it. And when I find my sign in your garbage can, I'm going to come up and charge you with theft by taking.
Yep.
It's a misdemeanor, but I'm going to make a big deal about it. And if I find out who you're supporting, I'm going to make even a bigger deal about it. But when I start putting out some of these signs, I'm going to put some tracking devices on it. And I've got like 20 of them, and they're really cheap, and they work really well, and they work on my cell phone. So if you lift that sign up and you move it around, it's going to start telling me where you're at.
I kind of felt, I felt some kind of way. I felt like I was being targeted that time.
Do you think?
Yeah, I really
Wonder why?
I did. I really felt targeted.
Because of all of the stuff that you've been through
It's
and what
been-
you've done?
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, I have it on the video. She rode right past everything, pulled straight up in front of my house, got out, and came straight into my yard. And these signs, how tall? They're not even quite 3 foot off the ground.
Yeah, they're probably about 2.5 foot
So
or
they're
something
not-
like that.
And
Yeah,
they
the
were
wires.
far enough off that you could have put a sidewalk there and still not touched my signs in that.
Yeah, because like I said, you have a unique piece of property. It's in a corner and it's round. So
Yes,
you're
sir.
going around the corner. It's not like they're impeding anything.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
You can see all the way around it.
Yes, sir.
And so, there's no excuses for what had happened. They were just, I want to know, Wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall and figure out who the heck sent them out there to do that?
Yes.
I wish if you could ever find out open records requests on some of the emails, find out who did it and find out who directed them to go there.
Right. I've tried some things they just don't give me. It seems like some they only feed me what they want, kind of. Except I had got the reason that I got the ones the first time is because I think it was a surprise. But now it seems like every time I try to do something, it's some excuse about it.
Well, you're a marked man. You got a marked man. You
That's
got
blacklisted.
Yeah, you're blacklisted.
So that's all
Welcome to the club.
For y'all, I'm not scared.
No,
I don't know.
I'm not either.
I don't know what to tell y'all.
I'm
I'm not gonna stop.
That's right.
Yeah, well, some people, because I'm running in this campaign, I'm going to tell you, you got to be careful on things that you say, because people record these things and then they bring it out on the internet, and then they'll turn around and attack your family members, and they'll do all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to tell you what, I spent over 41 years defending this country. And because I spent 41 years in this country, I defended your right of freedom of speech. I defended your right to carry a gun. I defended your right to due process.
That's right.
And this is, and many other amendments. But you know what? When I took that oath, when I came into the military, and I took an oath again when I every time that I worked in a law enforcement agency, I took an oath. But more or less in the military, I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of this country. Not necessarily the president, but the Constitution of this country. Right. And to defend and uphold the laws of this country, right?
Right.
And I can tell you right now, as a cop, as a police officer, I can confidently say that I've never made a chicken shit case. It was always based on fact. It was based on the laws, the black and white of the laws. And if I thought at any given time that it didn't meet those requirements of the law, then I let you go, because it's officer discretion. I don't have to charge you. Now, obviously, if it's a murder or something, right, something very serious and things like that, you've got your discretion is kind of, your hands are kind of tied. But the bottom line is, I always tried to make good, solid cases. And if there was anything that was ambiguous about the law or something that didn't fit, I always consulted, a higher authority, and made it sure I brought it before a judge and said, does this sound like it should be what it should? Mm-hmm. Because even if I didn't catch you right then, there's always a warrant process, and I'll catch you again somewhere else.
That's right. See, that's a good thing. We do have some good law people. There are some great ones.
There's some
here.
great officers out there.
There's some great officers out here on both sides, the sheriff's department and the CPD.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some in the Muskogee County school police. I just haven't met one yet.
Yeah. I've met a few of those folks in the past. I don't know a lot about them. Of course, I'm still in law enforcement. So I've met a lot of folks. A lot of folks know who I am. And that's a good thing. It's not, I'm trying to leverage my popularity with anybody. But the bottom line is, I think that people need to know. People still come up to me and they go, "How'd you do it for sheriff?" I said, "Well, I didn't do so well. The system cheated on me, but it is what it is." Yeah. They always ask me that, but I have the name recognition, and that's exactly what these special interest parties, what they want to do is back me out of this race because of name recognition. But to be honest with you, I'm the only one that can win this race. I'm the only one that can win this race against whoever that inevitably is going to be the runoff candidate.
And not only that, is like, you're very qualified. So
overqualified.
Any topic I ask you, you would have an answer and a solution for it.
Yeah.
And that's very valuable, especially when you're saying that you want to be transparent and you want to, be held accountable and provide accountability. That's what our city needs. I feel like there's so many things that's happening in our city, whether it's from recreation, whether it's high taxes, whether it's housing, homelessness. There's so many things that our city is facing, and it feels like it's just turning into like an overpriced slum.
It is.
And it is very, it's heartbreaking to see because, hey, my children are here. They have friends here. They've been growing up here. And we've had some good memories here. And unfortunately, like, people are fighting us tooth and nail because we want to preserve the Columbus that it was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I just hope people can see past the propaganda, that they can see past the fact that, you know, you've ran 5 times and that they don't count you out, that they really consider the qualities that you're about to bring to this position. So,
well, that's the thing is we're just trying to do the right thing. I want to do, you know, my family is settled in here. You know, I've got grandchildren here. I've got a son here. I have a daughter-in-law, and we're just trying to do the right thing. I mean, I'm not making any benefit out of this thing. You know, I have good benefits from the military. I'm retired from there, you know, and I have very good benefits, and it's not a benefit thing. It's not that at all. All I want to do is the right thing. And I've told you this, Jason, before, is that, and we just discussed it, the fact is that transparency is a big issue. Now, some people are going to say, and I'm going to beat you to the punch, is they're going to say, well, you blocked me. That's not transparent. Well, that's bullshit. And the reason I tell you it's bullshit, because I don't want to hear your bullshit. Okay, I don't want to listen to it. And I don't want you to taint my program just because you don't believe in me or you're trying to push your candidate up to the top. I don't want to hear it. So I'm going to block you every time. Sorry.
Hecklers get blocked.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah, hecklers get blocked. Whether you're anonymous 222 or anonymous 592 or 999 or whatever you are. So the only one I haven't seen is anonymous 666.
That's the devil.
That's the devil sign right
Right
there.
there.
Some idiot will come on there with that.
Oh my God.
Some idiot
Well, I think
will
it's
do it.
auto generated, so I don't think
You think so?
Yeah, I don't
Really?
think you get to choose.
I didn't know that.
So every single time you get to auto gen.
But the bottom line is I am not going to put up with that crap. I'm just not going to do it. If you want to come on and run a debate with me, I'll give you my phone number. Call me. If you don't like something, call me. Tell me what you think.
Right.
Tell me how displeased you are with me. Tell me what I should be doing and not. I heard it last night. I heard a guy out there, I'll use his name, Marvin Broadwater. He was at this event. And Marvin got up there and he was a nice guy. Don't get me wrong.
Invite him to the show. He'll come on.
Yeah, I will. I told him that I would invite him to the show. He will come on. You know, I'm pretty sure he will. But the bottom line is I told him, he came up, his question last night to me was, well, Mark and Steve and the other lady there in the center, Ms. Bryan, I haven't seen you guys at one city council meeting. I said, well, I let him speak. I let him do it. And then there's another lady that knows you really well. She was up there. She answered a question. We'd just like to see in our neighborhood. And I said, so I didn't say anything up to that point. I said, but I let them all talk. And then I said, look, I need to respond. I want to respond. I think it's in my right to respond. And so I did. I said, Mr. Broadwater, I respect your opinion. I don't make excuses for it. I said, but you have to understand, I work a rotating shift in law enforcement. I would love to go every meeting, city council that I could, but I work a rotating shift.
And you have a family.
And I have a family, by the way. And, you know, let me tell you something. Not making excuses, but for 41 years in the military, guess what I put forward first? The Army and my people and my responsibility, right?
Right.
And now what I'm trying to do is spend my time with the family. Listen, I missed funerals. I missed every one of my aunts and uncles' funerals. Everyone. And my mom was one of 13 children. And can you imagine their kids and all that other stuff? I missed all these funerals and things like that. We had a strong family background. But because the military was my family at the time, and the Army said, this is what old soldiers said at time, we don't give you, the Army is your response, or your families are your responsibility. That's it. Don't involve the Army in that. Your number one priority was your soldiers and your family. I was told that many a times. And of course, you hear in the Army today, what you hear is these guys get 4-day weekends. They get all this kind of stuff, a weekend to that weekend. Geez, I wish I was in the active duty Army again, because all of these time that they get off and stuff. I'm jealous. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not bitching. I'm a little bit jealous. But the bottom line is I spent a lot of time away from my family. Listen, in 1986, 3 days, 1986, 3 days after Christmas, it was December, 3 days after Christmas, I was in Egypt. I was supposed to be there for a 6-month tour. And there was an anniversary here not too long ago, I think a week or two ago. And the guys from the 240 some, don't quote me on the actual number because somebody's going to look this up and say that I was a liar. But the bottom line is over 200 soldiers died in an airplane accident. It was Aero Air was the contract company. And we flew out of Washington State because I was part of an infantry company there. We went in to replace these guys that were the 101st guys that were in Egypt, Sharm el-Sheikh in the Sinai Peninsula. And we were on an MFO peacekeeping force mission. And my job was to occupy an observation post way the frick out in the desert. I had 25 guys. We were way out in the desert on this outpost. Now, we had trailers and we had air conditioners, and we sent some of our guys to cook school. So we did quite well, but our patrols would take us off way out into the desert, and come back in, because what we were doing is monitoring violations of the UN and peacekeeping treaty between Egypt and Israel, okay? The Sinai Peninsula was our buffer, and we would report all those violations. Well, when I got ready to leave, we were on the bus and I was getting ready to go out. This was the day, what did I say, 3 days? It was, 3 days after Christmas. And my son was very small at the time. He was just like, I don't know, he might have been 3-4 years old, maybe 4 years old. And he was screaming, crying for me. Daddy, 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 daddy. He wanted to hang on to the bus window as we were pulling away.
That's hard.
Tough, very tough in a family, So I told Marvin, I said this last night, I said, you know what? I said, I'm trying to make amends with my family now. I really am. I found out that they were more important, but at the time, our family was the Army. I did what I was supposed to do. That was my responsibility, was the Army and the soldiers in it. I managed, as a military contractor, I've handled budgets as much as, $5.5–6 million as a private contractor. And I had a responsibility then, to people who were under my contract because I was a program manager.
Right.
And the same thing, that was my contract family and my personal family and my Army family at the time. So I explained to Marvin, I said, look, I'm not making excuses for it. You're right. I'm not at those council meetings. I said, but when I can make it, I will make it. And the other day I was there when he spoke, I was there in January and February of last year when a certain city manager didn't know what the hell was going on with his sports authority issue where Glenn Davis brought that up. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. He knew nothing about it. And admitted it not once, twice, 3 times. There was a fight between him, Glenn Davis, and the city manager. I'm going like, woo, where's the popcorn here? This is good.
Yes, he's talking about that part. Okay, so in my eyes, if you're not part of it, in general, but you're supposed to be managing it, then there's 2 ways out of it. Either you were part of it or you wasn't doing your job. Those are there's the only 2 things I see. And I'm just, like I said, this is why I did this, to make the citizens understand. And you can get the information if you look for it. It's there.
Yeah.
And so it's one way or the other. So either he wasn't doing his job and keeping up if he was the city manager, or he was part of the
Part of the problem.
Part of the problem.
Yeah, part of the issue.
Either one or the 2, and either way, you're incorrect. You don't need to be part of our government.
Yeah.
And just like the officers at the library, you was talking about discretion, but you have to listen to your leaders too. But if your leaders And that's why I'm going after the leaders of the school board and the director of the library, because they're the leaders of this part.
Right.
And if you're a leader and you're given orders to do wrong, that officer still cannot be reprimanded if he does what's correct.
Right.
If he follows the law, and I've had a couple officers went through this. I've sent them everything I have, and I have them that they took their evaluation on this thing, and it was wrong. It was retaliation, painting the curb. I was not breaking the law in no ordinance, no anything, and but so did they feel like they're going to be reprimanded or retaliated against if they don't follow the orders when somebody tells them that you need to tell him you're going to arrest him or you're going to take him to jail or you're going to tow his truck?
Yeah. Again, I don't know what they teach in the academies now because it's been so long since I've been through a police academy. They've decreased, increased weeks. They added, subtracted things. It's an inevitable process that keeps going on. And I don't know if it's updated for the best or the worst. But I talked to a lot of officers, especially new ones that come on board. I ask them these questions. Well, what's been done in the academy lately? What have they added to, and what have they subtracted, and things like that. And but one of the things I think always is emphasized in the law enforcement schools and the certifications is officer discretion. It's always been one thing that's always come up. And it really is, again, like I said, there's certain discretion that you can use and there's certain discretion you can't use. And really, no supervisor should pressure you into making any kind of decisions whatsoever. It really is. I mean, if they're looking at it politically, for a political reason, which if you're a sheriff or some of those reasons, I can probably understand why that is. I get it. I understand. You're talking about your constituents. That can be an issue. But officer discretion is always something that we have to worry about. And, we have to allow them to do their job, the freedom of doing their job. Because once they go through training and they're out through what we call an FTO program, which is a field officer training program, they have a shadow phase that they go through and then they get kicked out to the street. We can't hold their hand. It's not like you're holding your kid's hand to go through everything. So they have to make life or death decisions sometimes right there. They got to do it. And we've seen that what's going on in Minnesota. If you're going to run over an officer, I'm going to tell you, you're probably going to get shot and you're probably going to die.
Agreed.
I mean, that's just the issue. So,
Yeah.
do we need to take another break or are we?
Well, we're at an hour and 23 minutes.
Wow.
And all of our cameras just seem to be losing power. So,
Okay. So let's take a short break before we try to wrap it up. And I know Jason had some notes here, so we'll allow him to go over and take a look at it. But let's take a little short break. All right. Okay, welcome back to the Mark LaJoye Show. For a little break that we had a little couple technical difficulties, but we're back. And so, Jason, we talked about a lot of things in Columbus and what's going on and what you were part of, and some of the controversial stuff that you've been part of, and all that stuff. But we wanted to offer you a chance to come and tell your story, today, and I think it for anybody watching this, it should be pretty enlightening as to what happened here and what was going on, what you support, and what you think, and stuff. We didn't try to pin you down on what candidate you're going to support or
Right.
any of that stuff. But, like I said, at one point, it's going to get to a point where you're going to pick a guy or a gal or whatever it might be. And then we're going to ask you some questions about it. But so is there anything that you kind of want to wrap up tonight that what we've talked about, what's important to you and what you expect that you want to see?
All right, so I want to tell everybody just to make some great decisions on who you vote for. Everybody talks about change. They want change. Well, this is the time to change it.
Yeah.
Study your candidates. I can't say who you want to. It's your right to choose who you want. I've given the information, and it's public for certain things, certain candidates.
Would you say that maybe you wouldn't want the public to actually study and look at the initiatives of what each candidate represents and what they want, what kind of change they want to make?
Absolutely, that's something you need to look at,
Yeah.
and what they're going to change for our community. Are they going to keep silencing? Are they going to be transparent? That's the main thing we need to do is transparency and accountability. Those are some major things you need to look at, and who's going to help in that process, because we know the other ones aren't doing it now.
Yeah. And I agree with you. We agree more than we disagree about, some issues. I just wish you'd get on my side. But of course, that's what a politician does, is try to win the hearts and minds of
Right.
the people, right?
Yeah,
And try to
that's
get
right.
them on their side. You should. But again, like I mentioned earlier, you need to have your campaign initiatives. What are they? What do you represent? Not the fact that you're just either running for a political or a non-political party or a partisan or a nonpartisan party, but what do you how do you represent yourself to the public? The bottom line is, what are you going to bring to the city? What are you going to do differently? What are your campaign initiatives? Hey, I talked about transparency. I'm telling you that now. I've talked about, we talked about safety and security. You and I discussed that during the break, and we've talked about the safety and security of Columbus and our children.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
have
it's
9
cool.
kids that's
Yeah.
going to grow up in this town.
Yeah. And here's the funny part. When I said that last night, when I said, everybody asked me, I said, listen, to try to wrap up everything about my campaign, I said, my number one priority is what it says on my sign, the safety and security of you, your children, the public, so that your families can prosper and grow.
That's right.
That's that simple. Nothing should be anything more important than that, right? The family is always number one responsibility, period.
Absolutely.
And then we can talk about transparency. We can talk about openness in government. We can talk about all those kinds of things. The other thing that I represent is not wasting the public's money for some needless stuff.
Thank you.
No secret votes behind the council chambers for $50 million baseball parks. Oh, and by the way, I don't know what they're going to do, but the Memorial Stadium down there,
Oh, 149. Did you see that?
$140 million
Oh my
they're talking.
God.
That this guy presented an architectural plan. Now, granted, Councilman Davis, and of course Toya Tucker, she talks a lot too. That's all she does is talk. But anyway, the bottom line is that I'll give credit to where credit's due. Councilman Davis did this thing, and what he did was he talked about the whole thing, about the plan and how much it's going to cost. And he came up, well, can we come back with the architect with revisions, and can we do this? Can we do that? Those kinds of things. So he was looking at, the best interest of the public. And he said straight up, we can't do a $140 million project. We can't do it. We just can't do it.
Didn't Coggle say at the Republican meeting, she said that they've dipped into some of the reserve
fund.
So I'm like,
we're at 30 days reserve fund, by the way.
So, and I don't know what that fully means, but like the fact is,
well, reserve fund is for like, I wouldn't say it's rainy day, but
Yes.
if no shit, there's a reserve issue coming up. If something happens, that they can dip into that, and they've dipped into it a long time. We used to have, I think, in the hundreds of millions of dollars that we used to have as a reserve fund many
It's
years
getting
ago.
low, I've heard.
oh my God.
yeah.
So 30 days.
I think it's 30 days from what I read last time that they're in a 30-day reserve. That's where they're working in. And we got to build that reserve up,
Yeah. Well, the fact is, for me, is that the spending in our city is just ridiculous. Like the fact that we are going into reserves. So we already spent the budget, and now we're going into reserves. And Columbus is paying a lot of money. We're spending it on baseball parks. We're spending it on all these things that's not bringing back revenue to the people. And it would be so easy if the people had it like more, I guess, more inexpensive to where they could spend money on infrastructure. They can give back to their community. Like they can spend money on whether like baseball, sports, whatever, those little leagues. They can spend money on restaurants. They can spend money on businesses. But we can't do anything because we're paying, just me and my husband alone, we're paying almost $10,000 with all of our properties in property taxes.
Wow.
And those are only three properties. It's ridiculous. And that money could so much be better spent elsewhere.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Frustrating.
And we could at least let the citizens have a voice in it. That's like they don't even care. Sorry, I mean, it is what it is. They don't allow the citizens to have a voice in what's going on. What was that part that was given to the Columbus, and they kind of took it out, took the rug out from under them on that. The Columbus Airport, it is paid through funds of federal, state, and local taxes. And they say the commission owns it, the airport commission.
Yeah.
They don't, sorry, these are things that if you're not seeing this, then that's why they're doing it.
And I want to know, like, who is on these boards that are making these decisions, and how much money are they getting from our taxpaying money? Like, that's just a whole nother thing that we haven't even delved into.
Absolutely. And I put a post out about that, who was on that board, who was on the election board for the new city manager. I've said things about that. And
how much money did they get? Do you know?
I have not looked at how much money the commissioners have. Not yet. I haven't. But there's some prone people in them places that make decisions, and it's like I said, it's part of that system.
Right.
Oh my God.
Well, Jason, we're going to kind of wrap this up and trying to get us take us out of this broadcast. But is there anything, final thoughts that you'd like to put out there other than what you've already put out?
No, just if you have something to say that's legit, then say it, and don't be scared. And use your voice. I'm one person, and I've rang out through this city.
But you've made you've moved some pretty big mountains.
Yes, you have.
With your voice, and you've taken over what what Jay Nathan did, and I appreciate you taking that up. He was my next door neighbor. Well, not quite next, but
around the
2
corner.
blocks away, around the block. But Jay Nathan and I have talked a lot on different information, different cases that we were discussing and things of that nature. So, he was kind of the foundation for starting this off, and we appreciate you coming out and talking to us tonight and taking over what you've done for him. You essentially have done that, and we hope that more people will go to these council meetings and that they'll come out and thank you for doing the things that you've done. I think that's important that we do those things, that people still have a voice, and you're the one that's done that. And I appreciate what you're doing and everything that you're doing. Thank you for sharing that with us tonight and doing everything. And I'll just kind of take it out. Folks, you got to understand that you need to do your due diligence on who's in charge, what's going on, but look at each one of the candidates. I don't know how many's going to end up by the time registration happens. I don't know if we're going to end up at 4 or the original 6 are, there, whether they're going to happen.
Went out already.
Yeah, it did. And I think that was Byron Hickey that you're probably talking about.
No, sir. What's the one that didn't have a face? He's
Jonathan
Smith or
Yeah, who
whatever.
is that guy?
I think he's out
secret
already
agent,
too.
probably
Yeah.
a secret agent or something. I don't know.
I heard he's out. I've heard he's out. I'm
Okay.
not positive on that yet.
Yeah. But, I don't know what we're going to end up with in March. We register, believe it's the 2nd through the 6th is when our registry. I'm not going anywhere, folks. I'm in this race. I'm going to hang out to the end. So if you're going to try to propaganda-wise try to get rid of me, it's not going to work. So just float off to go do something else. But I'm not. But the bottom line is what we want you to do is to look at the candidates, look at their initiatives and what they represent, and more importantly, what are they going to do differently than these other mayors and city councils going to do? You're going to have city council races in there. One thing that really bothered me last night was Teresa El-Amin. Look, that was a Democratic function, but I don't care. I'm going to go to talk to anybody, anywhere I go. But one of the things I vehemently disagree with on her was she said all city council was going to be black.
I don't like that at all.
I don't like that at all. I think we need to have diversity.
Yes.
We have diversity in our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
We have diversity in our city council. And I'm not disagreeing. We need diversity with a mayor's position.
It needs to reflect
a qualified person to take that position.
But the council should reflect the population.
It should.
And it shouldn't be about race. And this is another thing that I was just, I have like a Facebook commentary that I was talking to somebody. I'm like, the black community needs to heal from this idea that everything has to be black, black, black. We have literally 2 black leaders in key positions. We have the sheriff who's black leader. What has he done for safety? When the sheriff's, it's the sheriff's main responsibility to come up with a crime prevention plan.
I agree.
That's according to the city charter. Then we had a city manager who was black, who could have funneled money into the black neighborhoods, but he I guess took care of his frat buddies. He took care of his his wife, apparently, according to Jay Nathan and the statistics he showed.
$30,000, $29,000.
And then if you look at, I think Gary Bruce posted something on his profile where he showed with the crime prevention all this money that's been approved by a city manager to so many different organizations, and where's the results? Is our city safer?
No.
We have people being shot and killed almost every weekend or every week, and it's a problem. These things need to be addressed. It doesn't need to be swept under the rug. The answer is not all black, because clearly some of these black folks are sellouts, and we need results. So that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I agree. I don't mind the diversity, because diversity brings a lot of different opinions, a lot of different education, a lot of different people coming together with ideas and stuff. And that's what I'm all about. I've always been this, and I've said this, and I'll say it again. No matter what political office I'm running for, no matter what it is, at the end of the day, it doesn't say Democrat or Republican above the doorway of your house or your apartment. We're all together in the same area. We're all living in the same area. We have the diversity of it. Just be smart on who we're selecting. Yeah. Be smart, because this is going to carry on for 2 terms. That's 8 years, because they're going to run for another re-election in 4, and more than likely, if it ain't me running again, we're over here. If it ain't me running again, then it's going to be somebody else, and they're going to have to deal with it. But the bottom line is, this is what's going on. And so what we're asking you to do is use your due diligence, check on the candidates, check on what their campaign initiatives are. And it really, it's not a popularity contest. It shouldn't be. But that's what it's turning out to be, a popularity contest. And we're not. But I just want to kind of wrap that up. And Jason, again, I appreciate you coming on. And
Thank y'all for having me.
yeah, and you're not a stranger. Don't be a stranger here to the podcast program, the Mark LaJoy podcast. We enjoyed having you tonight. We enjoyed your opinions and your point of view, and that's what this is all about. This is a diverse broadcast, and this is what we represent. So, Sarah, we kind of wrap up this program, whether you want to pray with us or not.
Absolutely.
We're going to wrap this program up with a prayer, and Sarah's going to take us out. All right?
So, Lord, we thank you once again for another successful program. Despite all of the technical difficulties, God, we believe you were here. You guided our words. God, you were just in all of this, Lord. And we just thank you for it, Father. We just ask that you would be with our city, God. Please remember us. Remember Columbus. And we ask for deliverance, God. We ask for leadership that is going to provide the change that we're all wanting and needing and deserving, God. We want transparency, God. We want leaders who do what they say and that can provide a great life for our children, Father. That's what we're wanting, God. And this is what we just ask, that you would just be over our elections, God. Be over our city, God. Remove the wicked people, God, and just let the people who need to be in these positions into these positions, Lord. We know you're sovereign. We know you see all things, that nothing is hidden from you. And so, God, we just thank you for just this time. We thank you for this podcast. And we just ask, God, that it would go farther than what we can ask, think, or imagine. We love you, God, and we thank you. And it's in your son name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And good night, and be safe.